Is it hard to be fresh if you don't have money, or can you still pull it off?
See, when I ain't had no money, I still had sauce. See, if you don't got no sauce, then you're lost. But you can also get lost in the sauce.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back for another episode. Again, today we are working on the EK Hatch K-Swap car. Today we're going to be putting the power steering stuff, everything that we need to get that done. The customer went ahead and purchased the hybrid racing kit. So we got the reservoir, we got the return lines, we got the feed lines, and it also came with a really cool cooler as well. So we're gonna go ahead and get everything in the engine bay. I started looking at like where everything was gonna go, piecing it together. And it looks like we will put the reservoir in the same spot. That looks like everybody else online looks like they're doing the same thing. They're putting it right here in this spot. So we're gonna go ahead and bolt the bracket first. I wanted to get the reservoir in, then we can get the hoses connected to it, and then we can go ahead and figure out exactly where we're gonna lead everything to. So I'll go ahead and get that mounted. Then after that, I think we'll go ahead and do the return. I know that one just leads straight from there, straight to the bottom side of the reservoir. So that's an easy one. Get that one out of the way. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that reservoir put in. All right, so I went ahead and got that reservoir mounted. I was gonna go ahead and put it here like I said a few minutes ago, but after putting it in and looking at where everything was gonna fit, because I do gotta keep in mind I have intercooler piping that's gonna be running here. So I went ahead and bolted it up here. That way I can just run the lines, shouldn't get in the way of the intercooler piping. That way we'll have easy access to get over to our power steering pump. So now I'm going to do like I said, I'm going to go ahead and hook up the return line, run that, and then from there we'll go ahead and get our high pressure, go ahead and get that over to the rack. Alright, so I went ahead and got all the fittings in here. A few things that I learned. This power steering pump is not going to work. You got to use the one off the RSX, and it also looks like the Accord of the same year's work. I know this is a JDM K20A. I think that might be why it is, or there might just be another power steering pump. So keep that in mind when you're looking at this fitting here, when you're ordering the kit. You can see these are really far spread out. This looks like it just runs parallel with each other, these bolts. So make sure you get the right fitting. What I'm going to have to do is get a new power steering pump. I was going to modify it. I was just going to drill it out a little bit. But if you did that, it'd kind of look bad because this one over here would have no bolt to go into on this side. So we're going to swap out the power steering pump with that. But we're still going to be able to get everything else done, so I can show you guys how everything is supposed to be ran. So we got this for our high pressure. That runs down here, down under the mount. And we got it coming here straight to the rack. This one you're going to block off. And then this one here, if you had it on the original car, it'll have these hard lines. You're going to go ahead and cut it, so that way we can run a hose fitting over it and run that to our actual cooler. So from the cooler, that's going to go straight to the rack. Then from there, you got this line here, and that is going to go to the reservoir. And then you got this one that's going to come straight here for your return. So I just want to kind of give you guys an overview of all of how it works again before I go ahead and put it in. Now I'm going to go ahead and put it in and see if it makes a little bit more sense. Alright, so everything is mocked up and in place. I know I just went ahead and explained it, but seeing it is believing it. And obviously this is the whole reason you guys are watching the videos, to see how it is routed. It all makes perfect sense where everything goes, but you just want to see where it's located, and you guys can pretty much run with that. So we're going to obviously start here at our power steering pump. So this will bolt right into here. Got to make sure you have the correct pump though. That'll go down to our rack, which will energize. Down here we'll have a high pressure. It's going to go ahead and send it back through this one right here. This is going to go straight to our cooler. Then from our cooler, it's going to get cooled down from the air that you got blowing from just driving. And this right here is going to go back to our reservoir. And then from our return side of the pump, we got it from here, and we got it here. So it goes from there, it pumps it right back, and then repeats the process. Just keeps pumping it back. So that is how it is all routed. This you're going to want to go ahead and add to your condenser. If you are going to have AC, you're going to want to have it on this side, just because they gave you so much line. Or if you want to cut it and add it over here, you could. But we're going to have an intercooler and a bunch of piping coming out this side. So they made it long, and most people are putting it over on this side. So we're obviously going to do the same. Once we have our condenser in place, they have little tabs that you can put through it, and it just holds it there in place. You don't got to worry about it, and that is it. But big thing you really just want to make sure is that you do have the correct power steering pump. That was a big no-no. We don't have the right one. We learned now, so want to make sure you get the one from the RSX. Best way to do it is just make sure it looks similar to this. If it is parallel, these screws are facing up and down, you don't want to get that. Make sure it looks similar to this. You can also see it in the pictures when you go ahead and order your power steering pump. Alrighty guys, and that is everything you need to add power steering to your K-Swap EK or EG. If you're going to do it in a EF, you will not have a hood, and you got to do some cutting. Making a tube front end would probably be the only way you can make it work, or unless you just wanted to cut pretty much most of that front support there. But anyways, we'll go ahead and call the video there. Next one we're going to make is us adding AC to this guy. So we're going to have the condenser in. Then once we have the condenser in, I can go ahead and bolt that power steering cooler, can bolt straight up to it, and we'll be completely finished with that. And we're going to obviously have to get another power steering pump. But as always guys, thank you for watching. Go ahead, like, subscribe. We'll see you guys next time. Peace.
You don't got no sauce, then you're lost. But you can also get lost in the sauce.
I'm an island boy.